Hello, all my delicious and sexy people out there, and welcome back to the Sex, Drugs, and Jesus podcast. I'm your host, Devanin. I have with me the sexy, lovely, intelligent, and talented Miss Amy Reiley, who is an aphrodisiacs food expert and has written a shit ton of books that will help you on your date nights, hell, single nights when you're trying to, have some time to yourself and everything like that. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. That was a fun introduction.
Oh, we haven't even gotten since she said introduction. Okay, y'all, I usually
Mm.
don't read people's intros, but I mean, hers is so goddamn good and she's done so goddamn much. And I say goddamn with all the love of Jesus in my heart. Hey, you know that I have. So I'm gonna read this. It'll take me like a minute or and a half. But as Mama RuPaul would say, y'all, reading is fundamental. So sit back, get your cup of tea. I've got my LaCroix right here because I guess I wanted to match my shirt and my beard. I just realized I did that now, and I'm also super gay. And so there you go. I'll have me a sip of that, and here we go. Amy Riley is best known as an authority on aphrodisiac foods, but she is also a speaker, cookbook author, and consultant, as well as a freelance wine writer and wine competition judge. If that is not fucking hot, I don't know what it is. I love me some damn wine. I digress. In 2004, she became the second American to earn a Master of Arts in Gastronomy awarded by France's culinary temple Le Cordon Bleu. While at Cordon Bleu, Amy rose to prominence for her work in culinary aphrodisiacs. In 2006, Amy released her first book, Fork Me, Spoon Me, the sensual cookbook, cementing her role as America's leading aphrodisiac food authority. Amy regularly speaks and consults on the topic of aphrodisiacs and has appeared on the Today Show, CBS Early Show, Nightline, and even Playboy TV. You'll recognize her as the one wearing clothing. It wouldn't have been me. I'd have been naked as fuck. You're, you're classy. I like that about you. In June 2005, Raleigh was singled out as one of the 5 best female wine professionals in the world of the year by France's Wine Women Awards, and she currently contributes to the wine section of Gaillot.com. Is that how you say that?
IO.
Oh, Gaillot.com. Ooh, yes. Take me to France, girl. And, which is an internationally recognized journalist. Oh, that's you. An internationally recognized journalist. Amy has shared her food, wine knowledge in such publications as Variety, Sunset, The Daily Mail, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas magazines. Amy's second book, Chile Aphrodisia,
Mhm.
by Rio Nuevo Press, was released in June 2006. Her other books include Romancing the Stove, The Unabridged Guide to Aphrodisiac Foods, and The Love Diet. Amy's latest book, Eat Cake Naked, Aphrodisiac Desserts to Heat Up Your Love Life, co-authored by nutrition expert Delana Flog, became an Amazon bestseller in its first week, bitch. Yes, I added the bitch part there. That's not in her right up. Amy lives in Los Angeles, my favorite city in the whole wide world. I can't wait to move back there with her husband and 2 children. In her spare time, she works for Rock and Wrap It Up as a sustainability coordinator. She helps film and television studios, including Universal, Netflix, and Warner Media, donate leftover catering to those in need rather than let it go in the trash. These food recovery efforts give her a broad perspective on the social and environmental impact of the food industry. Girl, I have one thing to say. You better work.
Oh, all right. That was probably the longest and most delicious introduction I've ever done. Thank you.
Baby, I need you to know you're well fucking worth it. Because your body of work stems from helping people in the bedroom, in their personal lives, and their sex lives. This is getting into body image. This is getting into people's insecurities. This is
Mhm.
people who are overweight. This is
Yeah.
getting so many things. And then you have the nerve to give a damn about the less fortunate too. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we all have to do something, right? We all have to do something. So that is what I do.
May the Lord bless you and just multiply your goodness back to you like a millionfold because we're hearing y'all donate this food. When I worked at PF Chang's,
Mhm.
one of the managers there, this little bitch ass dude who never got laid, I could tell even though he was
Right.
married. Whenever, say, a customer would order something and she would be a
Mhm.
Karen and she'd be like, "Oh, there's a P out of place. I don't want it,"
Right.
and she'd send it
Right.
back. Every other manager would let us fucking devour that shit like vultures because why throw it in
Yeah.
the trash? This other manager would,
Right.
"Nope, throw it in the way."
I mean, he maybe, he had a fear of lawsuits. I mean, there's always that, there's always I'm with you, but I always try to look at it from someone else's perspective. Or maybe he was just an asshole. I don't know.
He was just an asshole. I'm talking about the servers. We would eat it if
Right,
we didn't
exactly.
want it.
Exactly.
Trying to
Yeah,
sue
absolutely.
our employer over food. Now, we did do a class action lawsuit against PF Chang's for their draconian labor practices. But not
Oh,
over the food.
interesting.
Everybody there was either high on weed, cocaine, or something, and always well, people with cocaine didn't have the munchies, but, the high on weed people did. We weren't about to complain about free food. We were starved running back and forth over that big
I
ass
hear you.
ride.
I
Mm-mm.
hear you.
He was just
Yeah.
he was just a mean one, mister. If you're listening, you know who you are. I'm not gonna call you by name, but I hope you found Jesus and some pussy or some dick or whatever the hell because you need it all. So so your book covers I'm
Yes.
a book cover like horror, and whenever I write a book, I try to, put a lot of thought into it and make it a whole
Mhm.
experience. And yours, all the women pretty much have their cooch hanging out, bags like right there, and she's like super productive, but it's not trashy. If it was trashy, I'd love it anyway. But yours are like sexy, classy, and so y'all go and check out those books that I mentioned. Of course, her all the links to all of this will be in the show notes. Amy's website, which is a cool ass website. It's called eatsomething.sexy.com.
Yep.
And she's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. All this will be in the showy notes as it always is. Um, okay. So Fork and Spoon. I know the most recent book was the dessert book. I kind
Mhm.
of skipped over that and went down to the Fork and Spoon because I'm not a huge dessert person.
Okay.
I'll probably go
All
back.
right. I'll forgive you, but,
It's because I've lost like 60 pounds in the last like year and a quarter. Diabetes runs in my family.
Oh, yeah.
Borderline diabetic, and I was able to get rid of that
Good
by
for you.
eating more vegetables
Mhm.
and, losing, a shit ton of weight and working out. So I
Yeah.
don't stay away from the sweets, honey, because I don't like them. It's because I'll eat the whole damn pie. I
Gotcha.
love it.
Right. Okay. Well, then you're definitely forgiven. You understand the joy of pie. However, yeah, it's if you can't stop, don't start. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And that just goes back to my naturally addictive personality, honey.
Mm.
The shit is just so fucking good. So, in your own words, because I've talked so fucking much, and thank you for your patience, tell us about Aphrodisiac's food. What inspires you? What brought you into this line of work?
Well, I need to come up with a really good story because the truth is so boring. The truth is, I was working as a freelance wine writer. It was a hard way to make a living. So I wanted to write about some other things and in food and kind of, get more work, right? And I found the topic of aphrodisiacs and I thought, this is really interesting. And at the time I started writing about it, there wasn't much competition. I will say it was really hard to find the information. So, I had to embrace the detective work of it. But the truth is, I started writing about aphrodisiacs because I needed to make more money. Mm. I just really liked the topic. And, as I dug deeper, I fell in love. I went on to get my master's degree in gastronomy and I did my dissertation on the relationship between food and sex in popular culture. So, I mean, I'm dug deep over the years.
Like, I'm all about a deep dig. Oh, as the Lord would tell us, despise not the day of small beginnings. a lot of big things come. I was watching Puss in Boots the other day,
Yeah.
the stalk wine, who knew all of that was gonna come from a little bean, or as Lady Gaga said it in American Horror Story Hotel, you never know, how does she say it? What can come or what relationships can develop from a single hello.
Mhm.
Right?
Exactly.
So there's nothing wrong, shit, it is what it is. Now, can you tell the world what the fuck gastronomy is? Because I know people are like, "What the fuck?"
Sure. It's I mean, it's the study of food. It's food, it's everything about food except cooking it. Although we did actually, I mean, we talked about cooking it throughout that course as well, but it's everything else about food. It's the history of food, the psychology of food, how food infiltrates other parts of our lives, like food in the we did a semester on food in the arts.
Mhm.
So that's gastronomy.
Reminds me of when I was like, oh, where was I? The Museum of Fine Arts Houston or various museums all over the world. And I see those like bowls of fruit and all the paint,
Mhm.
Van Goghs and different things like that with a little fly on it and whatever. Tell me, what was the most interesting thing or the thing that you took away from your gastronomy education?
Wow. Wow. I I mean, it gave me this so much time and so many resources to delve into the topic of aphrodisiacs. And so, I was able to sort of push my career forward because of it, because I had it was very self-indulgent. It was the self-indulgent time of studying. So yeah.
Well, if you don't love yourself, as Mama Ru will, would say, how the hell are you gonna love anybody else? Can I get an amen up in here? Tell us how special that Le Cordon Bleu certification school is.
um So the program is on hiatus now, and so no one else can get it at the moment. But right, I'm in a very exclusive club. But I mean, I think like 20 people a year. So I'm in a very small club of people. It's a very intense, very cool program.
So in other words, y'all, she's a bad bitch. I'm saying in her own way. And then wine, oh, you know,
Mhm.
I'm I ain't a Karen, but I get personally, for myself. This is me at my snobbiest. I have wine glasses, and I don't really say this publicly because I don't like to talk about the things that I have, especially since I used to be homeless and everything, and I'm very sensitive to that.
Mhm.
But every now and then, I feel like this is befitting. So
Mhm.
one of the things that I prided myself on as I begin to be built back up from sleeping in the backs of cars and roaming the streets every night was doing it right this time, doing it better, classier than I
Mhm.
did it before. So
Mhm.
instead of having one wine glass from this place or some souvenir cheap glass, frosted wine glass, one glass from Vegas, that shit was kind of sloshed together like a bachelor. I came into my womanhood and I went to like WilliamSonoma.com and places like that and got actual sets. And so I
Ooh,
raised glasses and things like that. And so now I
nice.
boast myself of your proverbial homosexual wine cabinet when you open it up,
Oh.
like rows and rows and row of crystal glasses and champagne flutes, and you have your Cabernet glass, and you have your port wine glass, and you have this, and you have that. And everybody's like, "What the fuck do you need all these glasses for?" Because it's what the fuck I like.
It's because you can. That's amazing. It sounds like you have more than I do.
Honey, we'll talk after the show. And spiritually speaking, my high counselor who raised me, Evangelist Nelson, always was very fond of having crystal as opposed to
Mm.
glass,
Mhm. Mhm.
eating on
Mhm.
china or porcelain or some sort of hard plate instead of paper plate
Mhm.
that brings a better spirit to it. It's a nicer psychologically and mentally, it's doing a lot for you when you touch and feel nice shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree with that. I know so I have 2 kids, and I know when they were really little, like, all of our friends were, giving their kids the plastic plate and the plastic cup, and I'm like, "Here's your glass. Here's your china. Don't throw it on the floor."
Hmm.
And they never did. Never did. So, they've kicked over a few of my wine glasses full of wine. That's unforgivable. but they've always been careful when it's been given to them.
I know that's right. Waste not, want not.
Mm. Yep.
Okay. So, y'all, I have one more little story time. And after that, we're going to answer the question on exactly what is an aphrodisiac
Mm.
food.
Mhm.
But I thought this introduction from Amy's Fork Me, Spoon Me cookbook was like super cute and kind of like it's a good like intro to it. It's a good palate cleanser as we begin to
Yes.
forward. So once a man I dated 2 or 3 times offered to cook for me because I'm involved in the food business. Most men never work up the nerve to make me a meal. I was impressed by the boldness of his invitation. And yes, I was pretty doubtful about his cooking skills, but worry was overshadowed by my interest in what was clearly an open invitation to seduction. Any man who invites you over to dinner on the third date has more than a whipping souffle on his mind. Mhm. The meal was delicious, the mood electric. There was a white fish and a mango sauce, chocolate, white wine, red wine, and strong cups of coffee that carried us deep into the night. It was not until much later that he found the nerve to admit he had tried the ambitious menu for the very first time on that night. He chose the ingredients not to showcase his favorite recipes, but because a buddy instructed him to use all the right ingredients to create an aphrodisiac dinner. Although I wish I could claim it, this story is not my own. So no, we weren't talking about Amy, y'all. Haha. I too. A magazine food editor I know shared this tale of seduction with me when I started talking about writing Fork Me. As a matter of fact, I quickly found that talking about this project provoked an avalanche of ideas and commentary from almost every person in my life. By the way, the pair from the dinner date story married about a year after the mango and chocolate laden feast. So it would appear that the way to a woman's heart is through her stomach.
True story. Not my own, but a true story.
I don't know why I'm getting like dad joke energy from this somehow. It's like, because what are dad jokes? It's dad jokes are like super funny. You know they're not supposed to be funny,
Right. Right.
but it just lightens the mood and it's a good litmus test if somebody takes themselves too serious.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love me a good dad joke.
They actually told me that story as a couple. I have both members of that couple were telling the story together, and then this happened, and then this happened. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you took me back to the moment, like, I can still picture the moment of the 2 of them telling me that story, Lenny. Mm.
Were you turned on by the story, confused, overwhelmed, all of it? What were your emotions at that time?
I was a little bit drunk. We were actually it was on a wine tour through Sonoma's Green Valley
Hmm.
for journalists, and so, yeah, I mean, I've been well overserved by that.
Well, we won't say which wine tour overserved the young ones, but, you know, people I know they like to be sure people get their damn money's worth up there, but is there a certain wine tour in any part of the world? I don't know, Napa Valley, Sonoma, like, what's your top 2 wine tours you might recommend to people?
Well, I don't know. I mean, this was a special event for wine professionals.
Oh, you
We
don't
spent 3
frequent
days.
okay.
No, we spent 3 days with them, like, it was like overnight camp for people who drink. Yeah.
Hey, I think I'll just go sign myself up for that. I'm journalist enough, you know.
Hmm.
Okay, so then
Yes.
so Amy, what is an aphrodisiac food?
Okay. So, it's complicated. So, like, the FDA definition is something that immediately, is immediately arousing. And according to that definition, they say that an aphrodisiac doesn't actually exist,
Mhm.
right? I love your face. Yeah. Aphrodisiacs do exist. That definition is far too narrow. I understand it's there to protect people from weird things sold in gas stations. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So, so, but an aphrodisiac really is a food desire. It can be a food that improves your sexual health, or it can be a food that has an immediate physical effect that might make you to tear off your clothes. might make you feel a little tingle. So there are many, I can tell you for each different food, this is when to use it. This is how to use it. Pineapple, great for men. You should eat it every day because it's going to improve your sexual health and potentially your sex drive immensely. It's also good for your heart health. And, you want to live a long life. But eat a chili pepper during an evening of seduction or afternoon of seduction, whenever you like to do it, because it's going to raise your body temperature, make you feel like tearing off your clothes. It's going to make your tongue tingle. It's going to make you feel like kissing someone. If you eat enough chili, and I'm not a spice person, so I will never eat this much chili, but if you eat enough, you can actually even get like an endorphin rush, that sort of great runner's high kind of feeling. So yeah, chilies are your like food of seduction.
That could be why you wrote that whole book about Chile Aphrodisiac.
Well, well, I wrote that book because the publisher asked.
That worked too.
Exactly. Sometimes we just have to make really boring choices.
Well, the poster probably had a good twirl with some chili and got inspired.
It's no doubt. Yeah.
So, okay, so to the FDA, I would like to say fuck you up the ass with no lube with a porcupine dildo because clearly no one over there is getting laid either. So,
No.
they're from PF Chang's and he'll take his ass over to the FDA. And then I'm going to say, like, some of the people from the United States Air Force, too, who write regulations, nothing to do
Yeah.
with this, but I'm going to digress for a moment. When I was a military recruiter for the Air Force, my office was in San Bernardino on 2nd Street by the In-N-Out Burger. If you They also worked on La Brea and Rodeo and down on
Oh, wow.
on
That's
Air
near
Force.
me.
Yes, girl, we just could
Huh.
have, like, had us some fucking Krispy Kreme and wine on the patio and stuff.
We could have, yeah.
But in the book regulations, they were saying they don't want anyone to join the Air Force who's had, like, an orgy or, like, things like that, and I was like, "Why in the fuck are y'all in people's business like this? Stop being such a goddamn campus Republican. Get you some damn weed and go do something."
Why would that ever matter? A, why would it ever matter? And B, why would it ever be any of their business? I mean,
Basic
yeah.
shit like that, yeah. Like, I'm about to sit there and ask somebody, "So, tell me about your sex life." That's how I don't even know how that was legal to be in the
No,
regular,
yeah, right? Yeah.
but when there is no checks and balances, that's what people, agencies under authority do, whatever the fuck they want. But, so thank you for that beautiful definition of aphrodisiac-y food. I say aphrodisiac-y because it's just my
Aphrodisiac.
I don't wait for Merriam-Webster or none of those bitches to tell me what a word is supposed to be. As long as you understand what the fuck I mean, then it's a legitimate word, period. Done.
I like it. My daughter would like you.
Oh, I'd love her. We'd go get us some wine together.
Well, she's 7, so maybe not yet.
Down here in the South, they start us off drinking around 5 or so, and so
Mm.
so do you think that the effect of aphrodisiacs have to do with, like, the type of mind someone has? 'Cause, like, in the drug world,
Yeah. Yeah.
a person might be more susceptible to weed versus crystal meth versus
Right.
MDMA versus
Right.
LSD, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so it's every part of it, yes, is going to be, it's not necessarily just how much of an impact it has on you physiologically, but also like if you like a food, right, it's going to be more effective.
Mhm.
If you dislike a food, it's never going to work. So, and it's also our nutritionally, it's what you need. If it's giving you something you already have enough of, maybe it won't be as effective on you as getting something that you need. So one of my favorite examples is oysters. And I know they're a cliche, but yes, they really are aphrodisiac for a number of reasons. And most of it is because they're just sensational for your sex life nutritionally. But oysters, so you could be eating oysters because they're a really great source of zinc, improves blood flow, important for male hormones. If you have enough zinc, it probably doesn't matter. So that's one side. If you don't have enough zinc, you might feel the effects of the oyster more than someone, or if you're hungry because they're a great source of digestible protein. And maybe all of a sudden you just feel virile because you were starving and you ate these oysters and you have all this energy. On the other side, if you hate oysters, like you're not even going to swallow one anyway. So what's it matter? And whoever, prepared this meal of oysters for you just wasted their time. They're not getting any. So there are many, 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 many ways that you can approach this topic. And it really comes down to really, if you're trying to plan a romantic evening for someone or romantic meal for someone, it comes down to thinking about what they like. Just give them what they like.
And if what they like happens to be located in your aphrodisiac food books, well, then that's a win. Get the lube out and get ready. And so, does it matter how the oysters are prepared? Is this more like for a raw oyster, or does it matter if you fry it? Are you cooking the aphrodisiac effects out, or?
No, you're not going to cook the aphrodisiac effects out. That being said, there are some preparations of oysters that are really heavy, cream sauces, bacon, those kind of things. Heavy foods will slow you down. They make you feel a lot less like having sex, right? So, as a general rule, I tend to tell people to steer toward lighter foods. So, a lighter preparation is better. But you could just, throw them on a barbecue. That's delicious.
Throw that bitch on the Barbie.
Mhm.
Does how it turns you on or attracted to the person affect it? Can it enhance it? Because clearly, if you're with
Yeah.
somebody that you just view as a friend, it's not going to work. So I guess
Right.
it's something we should do when we actually have some sexual interest in someone.
Yeah, I mean, that's generally what I tell people. Like, if there's no attraction, because it's never going to happen. That being said, tell you another story, and this was actually mine. When I was working on Fork Me, Spoon Me, I had this friend, bachelor, he lived alone, didn't know how to cook, and he didn't live too far from me. And when you write a cookbook, you have to test the recipes over and over and over again to the point where you don't even want to look at the food anymore. And so I would call him up and say, "Hey, I have all this extra food. Come over," and just give him food. And I kept feeding him and feeding him, feeding him. And we're now married. We have 2 children. I had never thought of him. I never felt like an attraction. I never considered him as a potential partner. And then he ate my aphrodisiac food.
Oh, you use that voodoo on him. I love it.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Well,
So,
men really, really I love how I love how meaningful though, like your bond is because it wasn't sexual at first.
mhm,
Then just
mhm.
natural things happened over time. The
Yeah,
aphrodisiac foods enhance things, to whatever degree. And then over time, you know what, you were consistent. He was consistently available. Everything
right,
lined up. You
right.
weren't rushed. You just don't see that anymore these days.
Yeah, that's so true. We were in no rush. We weren't looking for it. We weren't hurrying it. It just evolved.
It just evolved. I love it, and I love me some good oysters. There's restaurants down here before the hurricanes
Mm,
ravaged us.
mm.
You can go get oysters for 25 cents each on, like, a cheap
Oh,
night.
delicious.
They're like
Oh, that sounds amazing.
$4 a dozen, and these weren't them little
Mm.
bitty cheeky ones. These bastards were, like, the big as the palm of my hand
Wow.
back in the day. Of course, we're down here right by the Gulf of Mexico
Right,
and
right.
not. So now I think it's like, I don't know, whatever the hell, but I'm probably gonna go back over there on Tuesday, and get me some
Mm,
oysters and shit. I haven't been in a
nice.
while. It's like an oyster happy hour that they have at this restaurant
Right.
called Pyrane's here. If
Nice.
nobody has been there, I do recommend it. Or, oh my gosh, I'm getting, like, flashbacks of that scene from White Chicks where Terry Crews's character is getting in the oh, no, gets in the BMW and takes the girl over to the restaurant. Have you seen White Chicks?
No.
My gosh. Oh my gosh. Imma need you to make this a part of your next date night after
Yeah.
with your husband. He's all like, have you heard that oysters are an aphrodisiac? And he's being all goofy
Oh,
and
no.
hung out
Right.
and like all
Oh, no.
it's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
There's like a whole scene in that movie, or just go to YouTube and look up white
In
chicken
the scene,
oysters,
yeah.
and it'll
Yeah.
fucking come up. It's like
Mm.
incredible. So you mentioned men's health
Mhm.
for for foods. Very, 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 like, important topic in men's health. Due to our anatomical makeup, we consume so many more calories than women do and things like that. Pineapples and everything. Is there anything else specific to men in particular?
Yes, there is. There's a lot, and there's a lot you can do by changing the way you eat and the way you approach food. And in fact, my latest project is exactly what I'm working on right now. We're calling it the Better Sex Bundle for
Mm.
men. And it's a whole like plan. It includes an ebook on those foods and, your own menu planning, some suggestions of how to menu plan and all of these things, all the tools you need to eat better and like, first of all, acknowledge what you need, right? Acknowledge that it's there and then move forward with it with delicious, yummy, tasty, fabulous, real food. But you can get a taste of it now. So that's coming out soon. But for now, you can just go to eatsomethingsexy.com right there on the homepage. There's a button to click for the 10 best foods for men. There's one for women too. And you can kind of get a preview of what I'm working on. So we have a nutritionist who works who's on the team at Eat Something Sexy, and she and I came up with this list together. By the way, the nutritionist is also a chef. Like she's worked as an executive chef at restaurants. Like she loves food. She's not just telling you about health. So we have this list of the 10 foods that are really going to help men support men's sexual health. We did the same thing for women, but it's consistently men who come to me. And so wanted to create a better support product for men. So, yeah. So come find out what the 10 are, and there'll be more soon. I didn't mean to make a commercial, but I kind of did, didn't I?
And cut.
All right.
Yes. Perfect. Money shot right there. Ring fake. We got it. We got it. It's a wrap, y'all. I'm here for all of that. She has a lot of free resources and recipes on her website. It's really quite generous, especially considering her body of work. Though that doesn't surprise me since you're out there feeding the less fortunate like that. So there you go. I'm happy to hear that your consultant friend who is a chef also loves food.
Yes.
No, I would hope so. I would not trust a cook that won't eat, or somebody who's talking about, they don't, eat at their own restaurant or something
Right,
like
right.
that. Yeah, no.
She actually co-wrote the dessert book with me. And
Mm.
she helped me to find ways to like weave yeah, right. Nutritious ingredients into dessert without, sacrificing dessert flavors. So that was a really cool odyssey. It's called Eat Cake Naked if anyone is interested. But yeah, she showed me how like you can use coconut flour or chickpea flour instead of white flour in everything, but in certain trust me, not in everything. But in certain recipes, it was really fun. It was really fascinating. Nutritionists are smart people. She's particularly clever.
I like it. I can't wait to have wine with her one day. I'm sure she has some great
Oh yeah,
recipes.
yeah. Yeah. Yes, and when she came to my baby shower, she brought me wine. So
Oh, she waited. When my homegirl had her baby, I showed up with the bottles in the hospital. I'm like, "You popped the kid out, right? Well, this is gonna go great."
oh, this was before the kid was born. She brought me a bottle of vodka and a bottle of wine, and she said, "Soon."
Okay, so she was ahead of me, 'cause I'm
Mhm.
all about getting ready. I'm like, "Girl, you've
Yep.
been on the clock for a while. You're about to get off work. Let's
Yep.
get you sauced
Yep.
up." So on the topic of sexual men's health, and this has nothing to do with food, but if you're
Mhm.
trying to have better sexual performance and everything like that, I recommend prostate massagers. And
Mhm. Yep.
which is not something that I've really had to use before, but now that I'm single after a 5-year relationship, I've had to expand
Uh,
my options because I don't want to say men out here ain't shit, but in Baton Rouge, they are very
Yeah.
they are very anti my Los Angeles state of mind.
Right. As soon as you said Baton Rouge, I understood why you're looking forward to coming back to Los Angeles. Yeah. Okay.
Right. And so
Mhm.
the prostate massager is actually something I inherited from the breakup, and I never really used
Mm.
it while I was with him because I had dick all the time.
Yeah.
And so, he more enjoyed it, and I was just kind of like the thing was too strong for me because I mean, the vibration in these things could shake fucking earth.
Yeah.
Federal. But I don't know why now, but I guess maybe now that I'm more relaxed, now that I'm no longer with him, I was
Mhm.
able to reach over to that thing. It's like my body was able to accept it.
Mhm.
And so,
Yeah.
like, I was reading in Men's Health, and this is how I discovered where we can take that. I believe it's called like a PC muscle. It's down there. We call it
Yep.
a taint or a taint or whatever you want to call it between like our asshole and our nut sack.
Yeah.
Clench that fucker, and you can do like masturbation exercises with it. When I have that prostate massager in me, it's almost like it's doing it for me to an extent.
Okay.
If
I
I'm
mean, obviously, I don't know. This is not something I'll ever experience, but that makes sense. Yeah. And I think it is important to keep all of that in working order. And I do think men neglect prostate health far too often. So, yeah, I mean, absolutely.
so look into it. I did a show with a lovely woman named Lola Jean. Y'all can go back and find it. And she was recommending all the
Mm.
prostate massagers and all of that stuff and go back and look at it.
Yeah.
So, and I mentioned the word masturbation, and then we're going to talk about women's sexual health too, because
Okay.
women first. Cannot forget my girls. Let's twirl, bitches. So, can we use aphrodisiac foods if we're gonna have a sexy night to ourselves? Because I like to preach masturbation, like lighting candles and pouring your own wine. And fuck if you have somebody there with you. I don't believe masturbation is secondary to sex, penetrative sex, or meeting up with someone. So if somebody's alone and feeling left out, thinking, "Well, damn, I wish I had somebody to do this with." What do you think?
Oh, yeah. In fact, in the new Better Sex Bundle for Men, that is one of the things that I address is that, hey, you want to keep this whole system running. Masturbation's a good idea. And it can be partner masturbation or it's a lovely night romancing yourself, whatever. And yeah, and if it helps you to kind of have that aphrodisiac meal, if it helps you to, this is actually something I talk about more with women because for women, they see it more as a part of self care that women tend not to allow themselves. And so I do a lot of talking to women, and it doesn't even have to involve, for women, it doesn't even have to involve like the masturbation part. It's really more about the self love of it, you know,
Mm,
just that evening, and have a romantic evening with yourself. Give yourself a date, romance yourself.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I I do that shit fucking well. That's like, I identify more with like feminine energy on most days than masculine energy. So I'm all about I pluck my aloe vera plants and
Mhm.
I'm such a desert rat. I got pluck my aloe vera and do my own like facials, got all the glitter and shit. I do my own body waxing, body mud wraps and everything. Got the champagne going and the music and the candle.
Yeah.
That's just like a Monday night in my house.
Well, for most women,
Yeah.
we don't take the time
Oh well.
and we need to. We need to have that self love evening because that's like romancing yourself. That is your, my romantic time with me. Women often skip romantic time with anyone. And then if they wonder why things aren't going well with their partners sometimes, well, you gotta love yourself first. You gotta show yourself a little. Yeah.
Like Mama RuPaul said, Imma say it again, "Oh, RuPaul, we feel your spirit with us." If you can't love yourself, how the hell you gonna love anyone else? Or as I heard it said differently, you cannot give away what you don't have.
Yeah.
And what I have seen, like you're saying, women become the nurturers in the
Right.
family. They're taking care of every goddamn body. Now her
Right.
nerves are bad. She hadn't gotten her hair done. You know, sometimes she walks in the house and nobody even gives her a compliment. The woman's underappreciated and she's gotten used to this.
Right.
I step into my hypnotherapist, hypnotist hat because I'm a licensed hypnotist as well as a licensed massage
Oh,
therapist. her neural pathways
Mhm.
have been wired to accept that abuse is common, it's
Yep.
weird,
Yep.
but not today, Satan.
Exactly.
Oh, and I guess it would be the same thing for women as a men, depends on the food, but, like, how for
Mhm.
men, pineapple, is there a certain thing that's kind of like the precipice or, like, superly popular for women, even though it's not gonna apply to all.
Okay, most women are gonna love this answer. Dark chocolate.
Oh, hell yes.
It's actually more beneficial to women than it is to men. Sorry, men. But it has to be dark chocolate.
Yes.
Darker the better. Dark chocolate actually has some nutrition that you just won't get from like a milk chocolate or. So darker the better. You're going to get you're going to get fiber. You're going to get magnesium. Believe it or not, you're going to get all these antioxidants that are going, it's like your fountain of youth. You're eating your fountain of youth, right?
Mhm.
And it has many effects, one of which is it will help balance the pH of your lady parts.
Mhm.
Well balanced lady parts from eating chocolate.
Yes, my girls, we gotta keep the pH well balanced out there. Honey, I've heard the stories, everything like that. My girls keep it real with me. They tell me,
Yeah.
helping their friends put tampons in and everything. And like
Oh,
when I say I'm such a lady, you don't know. I've been behind the veil and I'm very
oh,
comfortable, you know,
okay.
hanging out with my girls and
Mhm.
I wish women success. I wish y'all equal
Mhm. Yep.
equal pay. I wish you powerful positions in government because the patriarchy has fucked this country up. I wish women ran everything. I have no problems following it.
I totally agree with you. No, I don't want to run anything, but I would like to see women in charge.
Mhm. So, okay, people who are dating and such, let's talk about
Mhm.
date nights.
Mhm.
Valentine's might be more coupley or whatever, but I find the two to be interchangeable. What are some good recommendations for date nights?
Okay. So, one of my favorite things to recommend, especially if you feel like you need some like reconnection time, cook a meal together. Make it something simple. Do not be ambitious. Do not pick a recipe that will take hours to prepare. That's just not fun. Make it something simple. I often suggest make sushi together. It's light. It's very hands-on, to make it. It's not that hard. I mean, great sushi takes an amazingly talented and well-trained chef, but you can make homemade sushi and it's delicious, right? Or something as simple as like put together a fondue and, dip, feed each other, the whole thing. But yes, cook something simple together. The act of cooking requires teamwork. It requires planning and cooperation, and all of these things can help you reconnect and be there for each other. And once you start being part of a team cooking, you can carry that through to the bedroom after you've eaten all your aphrodisiacs.
I'm all about some bedroom time.
We can carry the whole meal along to the bedroom, or you can just skip the meal altogether, just leave it there in the kitchen, maybe make something cold, right? Just leave it there in the kitchen.
And don't forget to cook with an apron on with no clothes on underneath.
Right, right, right. I do have to tell people always wear an apron. Yes. Yes. In fact, I used to sell aprons that just said always wear an apron.
That's it.
Little
Nothing.
naked, little naked chick on it. Always wear an apron.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
So, is there anything that you feel like would be terrible for a date night? Just too messy or too like you already said nothing heavy, but anything.
Nothing heavy, nothing complicated. Yeah. Oh, and nothing that's like gross and messy to eat. Like sloppy, messy, like don't have wings. It's just gross. That is not date food. There are certain foods that just aren't date foods. I mean, when you see one, you'll be like, yeah, it's not a date food. Mhm.
My god, I've gotten so much better. Now I can eat wings and just have all the gunk on my hands. I don't know what the fuck where I was at in my, like, journey on this earth, but when I was much, much younger, man, that shit used to be all up in my elbows. I would be all just fucking burying my whole existence. And
You
then
compare
really
your existence and yeah, not a good look for a date. I mean, and it's but if you want to do that on Self Love Tuesday, go for it. But that is not something your partner wants. That memory will be that image will be burned into their mind. It's just not happening.
do you think it's okay to kind of get a little sloppy with it? Say you've been married 10, 20 years and you really know each other. Should we
Mhm.
still it's super cute?
I I mean, that's a very individual thing. I am of the opinion that this should be, if you're making it something special, make it something special. And yeah, probably keeping it cute. However, if digging into a bucket of wings together really turns you on, like who am I to say that that's wrong?
Sure.
So everything it's a very personal journey.
You know what? Gotta have that good old chicken fetish.
Yes, if you have a chicken fetish, like don't let me get in your way. Oh,
Okay. So I'm gonna shift gears here. Those are pretty much the main questions that
okay.
I had for you and your delicious body of work, and then I'll sum up your website and your social media and everything here in a little bit. Have you ever heard of the 50 Shades of Chicken cookbook?
I have, but I've never seen it. Why? What is
I was
it?
just when I was reading
Mm,
researching you for the show and everything
mm,
came into my mind because that I think that is the only erotic cookbook. I might have another
mm.
that I haven't used. I think they may have made a 50 Shades of Bacon
Oh,
cookbook,
did they?
and I was just gonna ask you, like, your opinion on it, since you are clearly a connoisseur and an expert in the erotic, and erotica when it comes to food and everything.
I
But
thought that was a much more I've not seen it, but I took it when I heard about it that it was a very tongue in cheek sort of thing, that it was just, you know, playing with the name.
it is, and the recipe's in there, and I'm gonna, hell, I might go I don't know, like, I don't know, this has got me wanting to go in the kitchen and do some things. I'm gonna be ordering her book, the Fork Me, Spoon Me one when we get off of this interview because I think that title is just so goddamn seductive and so fucking cute, "Fork Me, Spoon Me, I'm gonna make us a little spork baby," it's like every I just love it. And so okay. So, I'm like, my mind is still swirling around on these dad jokes. You strike me as a type of woman who could appreciate a
A
dad
dad
joke
joke.
every now and then, or that's not really your thing.
Yeah, I can appreciate a dad joke for sure.
You know any?
I'm not off the top of my head now. I'm very bad at, like, joke recall.
Go through style? Okay. Let me think. I'm just gonna, like, I've never told, like, a dad joke on my show before. You have such a, like, playful nature about you that you have not lost touch with your inner child. You're super in touch with your sexuality, and people don't like your sexual nature. And I don't mean like her woman sexuality, y'all. I mean like her sex drive sexuality. And I don't think a lot of people realize how being okay with yourself as a sexual being and not holding any shame about that,
Mhm.
embracing it, which is hats off to you for being a woman, because God knows the patriarchy have told you everything about you needs to be diminished. And, for finding your own voice and rising above that, but your creativity, your ability to produce and to be successful is tied to your sex drive and your ability to feel sexual and to be okay with it, not disrespect other people with it, and to thrive because that is a gift God gave you. To deny any part of you stifles your creativity. And when I look at you, you have enlightened eyes, your voice is clear, you know who the fuck you are and why you are, and you're comfortable in your own goddamn skin. And and out of that, I get dad jokes. Comfortable.
Hotter than you get dad jokes. Yeah.
Is there anything you would like to say before I tell a joke or two, and then I get remind everyone of who
Oh,
you
no,
are?
I can't wait to hear the jokes. Let's go.
No, is there anything that you would like to say about what I was saying about how being in touch with ourselves sex
Mm, mm.
important for success and happiness?
Oh, 100%. And not just your success in the bedroom or wherever you like to do it, but in life. Definitely. You have to, kind of embrace all of that's a big part of you that needs embracing. And a lot of people forget or fail to feel comfortable, find their comfort level with it.
Yeah, we don't mean, at least I don't mean like the act of having sex. That doesn't mean
Right.
actually accept yourself sexually. That's completely different because there's lots of people with sex addictions and things like that who have all kinds of sex who hate themselves. They miss
Right.
the whole fucking ball, the whole fucking train, the bus, everything, and left the station without them. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking
Yeah.
about self-love, and being
Yes.
in touch with their sexuality. Because sex is something that is supposed to be the act of sex is something that's supposed to be an extension of joy and happiness and self-acceptance, not trying to get acceptance, you know,
Right.
already be done.
And I do want to add on that, you kind of need a team in your corner for this, right? Like, if you look at an elite athlete and they have a whole team behind them making everything work. And so, like, I will be part of you. I'm part of your team. You've got my cookbooks. You can go look at, what foods you should be eating. I'm part of your team, but you need other members to your team. And for some people, they meet, like, I know one woman that I worked with, she needed guided meditation, someone to do guided meditation with her as part of her team to help her get over previous sexual trauma, right? You need other team members. You may need a urologist who, there may be a medical problem. But you need this team. You need to find your team and, get your people around you. Everybody deserves their team. And I think a lot of people think they don't, but you deserve your team and you need to find your team and have them help you build yourself up.
Hallelujah, tabernacle and praise because
Mm.
no man is an island. You can't be you cannot be on an island and exist alone. If God wanted you that way, then he would not have made us so communicable by nature. Because even if you call yourself staying at home and not fucking with people and you're sitting there watching reality TV and every goddamn social media reel, guess what? You're connecting with people. Or trying to. You
Yeah.
don't exist as an island unless you're literally sitting around with no technology. And even if you're hanging out and that fucking bird flies over you, there's no such thing as being alone unless you fall under the unfortunate circumstance of becoming alone in your own mind.
Mhm.
And you could have the best team right in front of you and with you and feel like they're nothing.
Yeah.
So here's the mental health and spiritual growth.
Mhm.
So, dad joke number one. Why is it not a good idea to show horror movies to Easter eggs?
Why?
Because there are a bunch of little chickens.
Oh.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
true. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. I'm only gonna tell 2 more, and these Easter ones we just had Easter.
Mm.
What did the big chocolate Easter bunny, like the kind you get from the store, whatever, say to the doctor when the doctor
Mhm.
asked him what's wrong with him?
Oh, no. What'd he say?
He said, "Oh, doc, I feel so empty inside."
I'll save that one for my kids. Yeah.
I know I'm not the only one who was pissed off. Your parents get you this big, huge fucking chocolate bunny.
Right.
You think you're about to chomp on some shit. You bite that fucker's head off and he's hollow.
Yeah.
Cheat it.
Totally. Totally.
Okay, last one, last one. When does a joke become a dad joke?
When?
When it becomes apparent.
Oh. I should have seen that one coming. Oh.
Okay, y'all, this has been Amy Riley, the host of a great many sexy, seductive cookbooks, which are all going to be found in the show notes. Her website is eatsomething.sexy.com. She is your local resident and worldwide aphrodisiac foods expert who has a shitload of education behind her and a ton of love in her heart. a super open-minded woman who is just trying to help you get a little bit further down your journey. She's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, all the fucking goddamn things. Joy having you. And thank you so much for coming on my show. Do you have any last words or anything you would love to say to me, the world, to everyone, to your husband?
Oh, my goodness.
Whatever.
But thank you so much. It's like I'm filled with warm fuzzies from this. I don't know why, but I'm filled with the warm fuzzies from this hour. It was a great time. You made me think. You made me not just talk, but think. So thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for coming on the show today. God bless all my audience. We love you all. We will see you soon. Thank you all so much for taking time to listen to the Sex, Drugs, and Jesus podcast. It really means everything to me. Look, if you love the show, you can find more information and resources at sexdrugsandjesus.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Feel free to reach out to me directly at Levanin at sexdrugsandjesus.com and on Twitter and Facebook as well. My name is Levanin. It's been wonderful being your host today. And just remember that everything is going to be all right.